Folks, welcome in to beautiful. I know you can't see the warm weather up here, but it's 90 degrees and we're in Tempe, Arizona, right outside of the corridor of Arizona State, the Sun Devils, and we get to talk to our first Sun Devil athlete today. It's episode 1 of Sun Devils Advocate with Bryan Rector. And today, it's Mathis Bondaz from Marseille, France.
Yeah.
And my friend, thank you so much, first off, for being here and for opening your home to us, to myself and my home gal, Natalie, off camera, who's helping out today, and just giving us the time and space to do this. Like, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for. I'm glad that I'm the first, and I hope it's gonna be good.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like when you reached out to me, I'm just at the place where I've only been in Arizona for a month, and I'm really starting to hone in on trying to make an impact and tell the stories of others and do shows like this. So when you messaged me, I was like throwing up praise, dude. It's just awesome to see that we're able to get this in and to connect in that way. So, man, I appreciate that. And I'm curious, before we really get into it, I know originally you're from France and have been at a few different schools, Texas A&M and Virginia Commonwealth, and then now at ASU. Tell me a little bit about how you came to faith. I know when we were talking off camera, you'd mentioned that it's not common for you within your family. I'm the same way, so I resonated with that. But tell me more about your journey and how you got here to Tempe.
Yeah, I mean it's a long story, but I come from a family of non-believer. Nobody was believing in God, and yeah, I come from a broken house, tough past. My mom passed when I was 11, so a lot of inside battle, I will say. I started tennis when I was 4. My grandpa was my coach for a while. So I was spending a lot of time with them, and yeah, I mean, when I was 16, 17, 18, I started to ask this question about life, because I think without tennis, I didn't know who I was, except just being a tennis player. And when I was 18, I was struggling with life, and I was asking myself this question, why this is happening to me, why, why I see other I feel like living a really good life, and me I don't have this chance, of course I was a good tennis player, I was gifted, but in my normal daily life, I feel I wasn't that happy, and yeah, one day I was just driving my car and I was listening to a podcast about Mary Pierce. She was #1 in the world in tennis, and she was asking the same question as me, and her answer was Jesus Christ. And I was like, oh, I grew up Catholic, but I went to church sometimes, but I didn't really know who he was,
Right.
So I contacted the pastor, and he was like, oh, okay, let's just you can ask me all the questions that you have. So I went there and I asked, and yeah, I just he told me to come to a meeting with a lot of students that I could share, maybe ask questions to. And to be honest, I stayed 15 minutes. I was like, this is what is not for me. Okay, I tried at least, But the next 2 weeks after that, 2-3 weeks was a mess in my life, and I had no one to talk with, And so I went to church and I prayed. I kneeled on the ground and I said I basically said that I don't exactly remember. I said, I don't know if you're real. I don't know if this is true, what we're talking about and stuff. But and I got super lucky and blessed that I had an encounter with Jesus. I just felt his love for the first time in my life, in my heart, and I knew he was real. So I got baptized 1 year after that. I built my faith, but in France, they don't really tell you to open the Bible. They don't really talk about relationship. They talk more about religion, So I was still living like the world, no fruit, of the spirit. And I left for Texas A&M in 2022. Well, they didn't really see my value, they didn't really see my value. So I left Texas A&M after the fall 2022. and I decided to go back to France and to start being professional, you know. But I was praying like sometimes, you know, but like no Bible, nothing, just like okay, like sometime when I was struggling, I was asking for help, but that's all, you know. And I went back to France, having like some tough month at home, you know. Sometime like I had nowhere to stay, I needed to sleep. Like sometimes I ended up sleeping on the beach, like you know, like some tough like moments on the road. And I knew that I couldn't like live that way, you know. I couldn't live that way anymore, so I needed to go back to college. So I went back. I had an offer at Virginia Commonwealth, so I went there, and I knew I was praying more and more, you know, but not opening the Bible. Still, I was just praying like every night, every morning, you know, a little bit like a routine. And I committed to the Lord when I went there. I was like, listen, like you got me through so much, but now like I'm gonna give 100% that I have, you know, and I'll let you control what I can control, you know. And I became one of the best in the nation in 1 year. I was top 25 in the nation. So and they cut the program, the budget at VCU,
Okay.
Virginia.
Yeah.
So my coach was like, listen, you're top 25 in the nation. You're the best in the transfer portal. You can go wherever you want, you know. And I was like, okay, like, then like, where do you think I should go? And he was like, I have a good friend. He's the head coach of Arizona State. And he was like, okay, he's gonna come meet you tomorrow. So I met him, and when I came here, I was like, okay, it's here. I had some visit like planned, you know, Ohio, Texas, like everywhere a little bit in the country, and I was like, okay, I know that it's here, you know. And I just like ended up here, you know. And a lot of things happen. I don't know if it's in your question after. I don't want to get too ahead, but like since I signed here, a lot of things happen
Sure.
with Lord, with God. So it was amazing, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your story and like providing the context
Yeah.
around how we're sitting here today.
Yeah.
I resonated with a lot of what you said, and where I want to start is like when you were getting ready to make those steps and move back and then move schools when you were over in the States, like what were some of the prayers that you were praying
Yeah.
for like guidance?
I mean, I wasn't really like you know. I was just saying like what was on my heart, you know. There was not like a guideline or saying like I need to do this, that, and I was like basically asking him to guide my steps, you know, like to just like show me which decision was the best for me, and yeah, but after I learned like to pray better, you know, like to not do it the right way, but like you know, I think the more your relationship is deep with God, the more like it's easier to talk to Him, you know. So at the beginning, I wasn't like I didn't know Him, you know. I was talking to God, but I didn't really know Him. So I was like talking to a stranger, you
Yes.
know, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, it does. It makes perfect sense. And so much of your story, I feel, relates to, ironically, the passage that I chose for today that I wanted to talk about, which is Romans 7, verses 7 through 25, essentially where Paul is like crying out about this like sin that is residual and like residing in his heart and separating the sinful nature and the flesh from the desires of like knowing Christ, right? And like I want to start right here on Romans 7 verse 7, which is more or less, I would not have known sin were it not for the law, were it not for the 10 commandments and for God's word. And like when I was reading through it this morning and thinking about this, to me, what resonated was the exposure that can have to your heart and like what truly resides in you. Like what does your character say? And so within that frame of mind, like how has tennis revealed parts about your character that God is calling you to like let go of and like move on from? Like I know oftentimes athletes have such a like a high-strung personality or like intense, and that sometimes can lead to like not worshiping as deeply as you could. Like how has what you've seen in your heart through tennis like allowed you to become a more proficient follower of Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, tennis is a really individual sport when you count on you
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And sometimes I think like, I mean, tennis player without God can be selfish,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
thinking a lot about
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. Of course, when you play for Arizona State and in a team, like you need to think about all the other guys too,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I needed to give up a lot of things, I asked God to help me to give up this, selfish nature, I wanted to help others. But yeah, he helped me a lot with my like leadership style,
Mm.
with these
Mm-hmm.
guys,
Mm-hmm.
how to lead them with love,
Yes.
more than just being a leader, and being the captain. I wanted to have an impact with them on the court, but also on this faith part,
Mm.
So we did a lot, like a lot of things happened since I signed. God has been moving like crazy in my life,
Sure.
like never before. Uh, he's he's been using me in ways that like I couldn't imagine. And I can tell you like everything. I don't know if you have a question, but yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but I hope so. I
You
hope so.
did, you did, you
I hope
did.
so.
And actually, you segued perfectly into where I wanted to go, and then I want to hear about how he's been moving within you. But like, the place that I really wanted to go is like through tennis, you've found a way, I presume, to perform under pressure, right?
Yeah,
And to like be, as you were saying, being a
yeah.
captain, like figuring out a way to lead your team.
Mm.
Like, do you feel that you would have grown as much as you have without the vessel to like learn from pressure and like the intensity of competition?
No, I mean for sure, we're doing. There is a lot of responsibilities playing for ASU. We don't play only for ourselves. We play for the team. We
Mm.
play for the university, the colors, the culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I think it's way easier to perform with God than without. Just more peace. The fact that He controls what you can control.
Yeah.
Since I understood that, I think I'm a different player,
Mm.
because I think like tennis players try to control a lot everything that we're doing,
Got it.
and the fact is that he is only he's controlling, everything. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, you control your discipline, your hard work, your intensity, your effort every single day,
Right.
but like what is not in your hands, like injuries, stuff like that, you just gotta trust,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I mean, I had a lot of like match with a lot of pressure, even every day. Like I mean, leading these guys is like not easy, you need to be not perfect, but
Mm-hmm.
you need to set an example every single day, because they follow you, So if you lead the wrong way, they're gonna go the wrong way,
Right.
So they are looking at you, but I'm glad that I'm doing it with God, because without Him, I couldn't lead this team the right way. If that makes sense,
Right. Right. Absolutely. And I think like also in Romans 7, later on, 14 through 17, kind of gives this overall theme of Paul crying out, mentioning that he does not do what he wants to do, but rather he does what he hates.
Yeah.
And like, I think about you being able to lead your team so much better because you are able to do what you desire to do in the leadership because you're walking with him.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool. Like, it really highlights the idea of intention versus action. Like you want to be of assistance and you want to be positive and like courageous and bold and uplifting. But when you're doing that separately from God, it does not
No.
resonate the same way.
But I relate with what you said about doing what you hate. Like I mean, sometimes I feel like God calls you to do something that it's completely out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And He called me to do things that I would never like imagine doing it.
Mm.
Like for example, like going to high school in front of like a lot of new students. High school. like in English, you know,
Right.
it's not my first language, and preach the gospel, you know, and share my testimony, or going to athletes and talk to them about my faith and helping them with my faith, like being like basically a public speaker, you know,
Yeah.
and like in English, you know, and it's not like something that I thought I would do, you know,
No.
like in college, but he called me to do it, so I'm doing it, you know, but without him I wouldn't do it for sure.
No. No. What was that process like when you were being called into going out and sharing your testimony
Yeah.
and sharing his goodness and mercies? Like, how did you know that that was on your heart?
Man, like that was a crazy experience.
Yeah.
Like when so basically in May, like when I signed, I was not in top of the world, but I was on the best player in the nation. You know, you go back home, like you know that like for the next year or so you're set. You know, like you're gonna be good and like and stuff. And 1 week after I got back home, I torn my labrum, my hips,
Wow, dude.
so I couldn't walk. Like I
Okay.
couldn't walk, and I came back here in August, beginning of August. I didn't touch the racket at all, and didn't have a relationship with God, and feeling like, you know, unworthy. Like I go out to practice, I can't even put my socks, you know, the morning, you know, and I'm like, I go to my coach and I'm like, I'm useless. Like I'm useless. I can't help this thing. You asked me to be a captain, but I can't help them right now, you know. And he's like, and my coach, I'm super blessed that he's a super strong Christian, and he's like, oh, like but do you believe in God? You know, like we're talking a little bit about that in my visit, but we didn't go deep, you know.
Right.
And he was like, you should like open the Bible a little bit. And I was like, I'm not sure, like I don't know, you know. And I see the same day a girl in the volleyball team. She's like, oh, do you want to go to church with me, you know? And I'm like, okay, why not? I have that to do, you know. It's been a while that I haven't go to church, but I mean, thank you for asking, you know. So I go to church, and before going to church, I was like, I say one prayer. I remember like it was yesterday. I said, Lord, help me, use me to help this team. I just want to help this team. I don't know how, but like you need to show me how I can help these guys, you know. So it wasn't about me. Like I think I was like, he put me on. He just humbled me, you know. And he was like, okay, these guys, like they are more important than you.
Right.
And this is what I had on my heart. And the pastor, the first sentence that he said, if you don't know where to start, start with your testimony. And I'm like, all right, like I got the calling, you know. So I was so excited. I was like, God just spoke to me. That's crazy, you know.
Yes.
And I'm going to the guys, and I'm like, we're gonna do a meeting right now. And I sat all of them in the room, and I said my story to them, you know. And I went super deep. I was like, this is my story, and I never opened the Bible, okay. And I said, every Tuesday we're gonna do Bible study, but I never opened the Bible. And then they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna do Bible study, and we're gonna pray before every practice.
Sure.
And I'm like, listen, I'm not forcing anyone. And if you guys don't want to come, you don't come, you know, like it's okay. And at the time we were 12 in the team.
Sure.
First meeting on Tuesday, the 12 come. And I'm like, and the entire week I was in the Bible, like three hours a day,
Okay.
like studying to help them, you know.
Right.
But I didn't know that studying will help me. I wanted to help them, you know. And I got into the Bible, like studying, you know, like studying everything, the verse, going deep, deep, deep. And Tuesday they come, and they had so many questions, and I didn't have the answer, like at all. Like I was so new, you know. And so it led me to like study more and more and more and more. And I was like, okay, like I started to answer the question, and I was like, something is changing right now in my heart, you know. Like I was going to the bar with the guys, and I was like, I can't be here anymore, you know. Like this is not for me anymore. Like why? Like why am I feeling that? You know, I always enjoy going with the guys to the bar and stuff.
Sure.
I don't enjoy it anymore. Like not gonna go girls, but girls same. Like I don't enjoy that anymore. You know, like for example, I don't know, gossiping. You know, lying. Like it's not me anymore. You know, all that is not me. And I was like, and it's truly so I was injured. I couldn't play. And it's truly like one day I said, like I kneeled and I said, Lord, like I give you my life. You have all of it. Like you can do whatever you want with my life, because I was broken from my injury, um, just like just like a tough moment in my life, And I needed, and I say, you have all of it, like you can do whatever you want. And he just put his hand on me, put his hand on me, and he was like, I'm gonna work with you, And he worked with me, and my life changed, my heart changed, and 3 guys got baptized in the same year. So one coach and 2 guys in the team got
Okay,
baptized
sure.
this year. So during the spring,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't say it's because of me, but he used me, this way to like lead them to Christ, and then they gave their life, and we're praying before every match, before every practice, and now like we have a brand new team this year. So
Mm-hmm.
it was more challenging. Like we have a Japanese guy, like he never heard about Jesus,
Sure,
and
sure.
this morning came up to me and he said like, I think I'm ready to be a Christian. So like like,
Wow.
and so like, yeah, we're just planting the seeds, and God has been moving and changing the heart. It's been amazing to see.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to circle back to
It was a
to
lot. Sorry.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
I went in deep.
No worries, dude. That was awesome. Like I appreciate you for being willing to share.
Yeah, of course,
Like
of
that's
course.
the biggest part to
That's why
all
we're
this.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the sole reason why we're here, man. We have to learn and understand. I want to come back to later on to the like cross-cultural barriers within your team. You had mentioned a player from Japan. You yourself being from France. I want to touch on that in a second. But where I would really like to go is in Romans 7, right? Verses 18 through 20, there's this idea where it's like Paul is saying that he has the desire to do what's good, but doesn't have the strength to carry it out. And like with you, what you talked about to me, I think of resilience, like coming back from torn labrum, right? And like then resilience to understand that you haven't opened the Bible, but you want to help with your teammates. So you dive in for 3 hours a day. Like the question in that is, have you ever hit a wall where it was like, it strengthened your dependence on Christ because
Yeah.
it's like you can't do everything on your own.
Yeah, I think like I hit couple walls actually, but I think like at one point in the semester, like there was one guy coming to Bible
Okay,
study,
yeah.
So you lose hope. You're like,
Right.
God, like you called me to do that, but no one is coming, So this is this was a tough one, and I got lucky. I have a good mentor. He helped me through this, like saying to keep going. That like one guy is better than zero. And I think like I hit a big wall. Like when I got back from my injury in November, I was starting to feel really good on the court again. December, January, and the season was coming. And I torn my left one in March, and but I was less symptomatic, and but I was playing with a lot of pills, painkiller and
Sure.
stuff, and so I played the season, going home in May, and I go home, and in June I'm home, and nobody believes in God around me, and I'm alone with my faith, with God, and nobody understand me. My family don't understand me, don't understand like what I'm talking about, don't understand why I'm reading the Bible every day, and I'm like calling my coach, and I'm like, man, like nobody's understanding me here, and I was still like with so much pain, and this led me to, do you know this passage in the Bible where Matthew, in I think it's in Matthew, and Jesus is in the boat and he's sleeping, and the storm hits the boat, and he say, "Oh, you of little faith, like why have you doubt or something like that, And I was reading that, and this was a really tough moment because I was in between getting a surgery and being done for like 10 months, or
Okay.
trusting that I'm gonna heal,
Right.
by my work,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like in this reading this, and I'm like, I never fully surrendered my injury to God, and I never fully surrendered like this area, So I gave it to him, and I said, listen, like you have it. If you want me to get surgery, I'll get it. But may your will be done in my life. That's all, That's all I want. and I got peace, like crazy peace, and peace that I wouldn't get surgery,
Right.
and like 1 week after I was healed, and now I'm at 100% no pain, pain free, and yeah, I mean, I was trying to control everything once again, because I think it's the human nature to want to control when you get injured or when something happened that like the unknown, it's like you want to like know everything that is happening, and I think like once you surrender and once you give it to him, um, he starts working, and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. And I think like, man, it's funny. As I was preparing for our show today, I wrote down a bunch of notes and I was studying the passage. And it's like every answer you give segues into the next thing I want to go
Okay,
to.
good. I'm
Which
glad.
it's crazy because it feels like the Lord is like even working within this
Yeah,
conversation
it's good.
of like, it's just in movement, man. Like talking about the war within and like, um, Paul says in Romans 7, like, when I want to do good, evil is right there with me as well. And like, where do you in your walk feel the battle within your heart? Do you feel it the most in your focus or your confidence or your attitude on the court or off? Like, where do you feel that battle the
I
most?
think the most is on court for sure. I think in life, like daily life, like I don't know, like it's not easy, but like tennis is my platform, so I feel like the devil like he has been attacking me on my platform, for sure. Like when I'm on the court, sometimes anger comes,
Right.
like you want to break a racket, or you want to say bad words, or like there is bad calls and you want to like you talk bad to the referee or something
Yes,
like that,
that's right.
but this is something that a Christian or like at least Jesus Christ wouldn't do, and so this is a not a constant fight. I think I'm getting better and better. But definitely at the beginning of my walk with Christ was a tough one. Anger and just like, like being a good Christian even on court. Like I really want people to see that I follow Christ in daily life, but also that you can see that when I'm on the court, so this had been like a tough one, and also ego wise, ego, like
Yes.
with a team like that, like so many good players, and like sometimes they challenge you, and you need to put your ego aside, and sometimes you need to be the one to say sorry. You need to be the one, because you're like, because I mean, Jesus forgives us for everything. I mean, not everything, but like He's forgiving us, all the time. So yeah, this I would say on court and ego wise, but on
Absolutely.
court for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like we're nearing the end of the passage, which is cool because it's like had an application at each point. Verses 24 and 25, Paul is essentially saying like, or asking, like, who will deliver me from this body of death that I reside in, right? Like, how can I overcome what my flesh says? And so for you, like talking about how it can get on court, the intensity, the want to act out, to talk to a ref, to like, put down an opponent, things like this. Like, how does knowing that Christ has already made the ultimate sacrifice for you impact and change your approach to those situations where it could go negative?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, like as I said, it's one of my weakness on court, but I think it just same like he humbled me, knowing that I always walk on the court with this shirt Jesus won, when we go on when we have home matches or even away, because like the most important, like I think we need to remember is that he already won the fight, he
Right.
already won for me. Does he care about winning or losing a tennis match? I don't know, but I think the most important for me is to go out there and to fight and to play with the spirit that he gave me, but yeah, I mean, the most important is that is this shirt, Jesus won. He already did everything for us, and I think like when you have that in mind and in your heart, like it just like brings a lot of peace, and you can play like free for sure.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
One more question. Like, as we're wrapping up your time here in college and at ASU, like, what do you want your legacy to be? And what do you want to, like, take away? What do you want to extrapolate from your time in college and, like, growing in Christ?
I'm gonna get emotional with this one. No, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, college has been, like 5 years of my life.
Right.
And I see, we have this conversation a lot with one of the guy who gonna graduate too, and his name is Roy, and we always get a little emotional because like when I look back at who I was when I came to college when I was 18, 19 years old, and I'm gonna turn 24 in January. The guy that I'm the man that I became, I can see now like how God like he was here like all the time, even if I didn't have a relationship with him the first like 3 years in college, 3 4 years, he always been with me, and I would just like I hope this gonna continue with ASU. Like I hope the guys they're gonna keep God at the center.
Yes.
I hope they're gonna keep praying. I hope they're gonna keep having Bible study. I pray that the guy gonna come and be able to lead them again. Like I did. Lead them to Christ and keep doing that. But yeah, I just hope ASU gonna keep doing that and like using our platform as much as we can. I'll be forever a Sun Devil, that's for sure. Um, and yeah, I get out of college with so many memories and a really strong faith and strong relationship with God, who's gonna lead me for the next step of my career, for sure, and life and personal life too, So.
The last thing is that I really wanted to cover is like thinking about this idea of cultures, right? And how they interact under the cross. Like ministering to somebody who's from Japan and like you being from France. Like, do you have a vision for what it will look like when you go return home and like how you want to interact with your family and
I mean,
friends back there?
first, like, we have only one American guy out of 9 guys in the
Wow.
team. So
Wow.
there is Jewish guys, there is Japanese, there is Slovakian,
Okay.
Slovenian, all these different countries. So the way I approach them first is I don't push it. I did the thing that I did last year is I did my testimony. I did it again this year with them. I said my story, we met all together and we just like presented FCA that like it's a resource like a sports psychologist,
Sure.
like it's just a resource that they have if they need it, but without pushing it. And I'm super blessed that I have a powerful testimony. So after like saying that, obviously like people come and ask questions, like so Shu, for example, Japanese guy came up to me and he never heard about Jesus, never heard about the name Jesus Christ, so you need to start from the beginning, who he was, and I got super lucky that I travel a lot with him. So I just guided him, like a little bit every night, like 20 minutes, we
Sure.
talk about it, like ask me question, what's on your heart, and he asked me and I answer as much as I can, and after he's like, oh, what this means in the Bible, this, so we go over it, and he get curious and curious and curious and he comes to Bible study, so he's opening himself, but I never push it, I never force it, like it comes from them, their heart, if they ask question, I answer, and for example, I have a lot of debate with a guy in my team, he's Jewish, and a lot of debate with love, because like we believe different thing, but I feel like if he's in my team, I always said that to him, you're in my team, and Jesus is the most important most important person in my life, so you're gonna hear me talking about it,
Sure.
and he's praying with us, and I challenge him a lot. I'm like, I want you to know the truth, you know. So I'm really like bold with my faith, you know. I'm really bold, and I'm really like talking about it. I challenge him. Because I want him to be saved, you know. Like, it's not because I want to be right. It's
Yeah.
because I want you to be saved, and I want to see you in heaven, you know. So like we have a lot of debate like that, and of course, like, I don't really plan to live in France in the future,
Sure.
because I think like faith is the most important thing in my life, and I just can't do it in France and can express it the way I want. Or, you know, of course I'm planting seeds when I go there, but I just feel for my life and for my heart and for like I mean, everything that I'm trying to accomplish, like my life, I just feel that my heart is here in the US. I don't exactly know where, you
Sure.
know, but because after tennis I also want to work in ministry, maybe, you know. So so yeah, I mean, but of course, to my family I talk about it, you know. It's like the center of my life. So my dad, we have some crazy conversation because he's a non-believer, like not at all, you know.
Yeah.
But it's good, like he's been like, you know, like when I was injured, he went to church, like, you know, pray for me. So it's like first big steps, you know, that they are doing. But it's good, it's good. But it's for sure challenging. But I think I'll go where Jesus wants me to go, or God wants me to go. You know?
Man, absolutely. Folks, I would leave you with this. Like, are you willing to go wherever God calls you to do? And are you willing to do whatever God calls you to do? Like, that was a really great thought to end it on. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course.
How can we be praying for you?
I don't know. Maybe that we have a good season with the guys. You know, that a lot of people in my team and ISU athletes comes to Christ this year. You know,
Yeah.
and let's pray for boldness. You know, I think like we need that. We need to be bold with our faith, because I read something today on Instagram saying that like. Being a Christian is not just wearing a necklace or like having a tattoo. It's like committing to Him, living with Him daily, you know, and expressing the love that He gives to us, you know.
Yes.
So I think like boldness is important, and I think a lot of Christian, we should pray for all the Christian because they need boldness in this world, because it's not easy out there without Christ.
No.
You know.
No, it's not. Mathis, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And man, I appreciate it. Natalie, I appreciate you as well for getting us going. And folks, like, connect with me, Bryan A. Rector. Actually, no. Wow, I changed my IG handle to I am Bryan Rector. This right here is Mathis Bondaz, somebody who I call a friend now, and somebody who I'm just fortunate to know and be walking with. And then as well, like, connect with us on Instagram at Sun Devils Advocate. This has been episode 1 of our new show, looking to make impacts for the kingdom. When we were at Michigan State, we did over 55 shows with athletes being able to tell their testimonies. And I mean, Lord willing, we're able to do exactly the same thing here in Tempe. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see y'all when we see you.